Andrea Mercier, aka Ann Loam, and welcome to my studio. Today we're going to do a quick project. Well, I hope it's quick. This is one of the very first fluid acrylic pours I ever did. I was trying to make flowers, and this piece has sold, so I am going to show you how to make gift wrap so that you can wrap it up. Now, last year at this time, I did a gift wrapped video. Actually, I did two. The first one is right there. You can go and watch that. But I'm going to redo the entire thing again. I'm doing it differently. So I'm trying to use up some of my little half bottles of paint so that I can get rid of them, because technically right now the only thing I'm using is Liquitex Basics for my pours, so I want to get rid of the other paints that are hanging around. I'm going to use some Iridescent medium to try and give it some shine. Mod Podge, I have matte. You can use whichever one you want. I picked up this variegated leaf pack. So this is like gold leaf, and I'm going to put some of that in. I have some pearl glitter glue. I have some pearlescent pens from Viva Decor, and we're going to make some sheets of Deli. This is Deli paper. We're going to do some sheets up, rip everything up, Mod Podge it together, and create a nice kind of Christmassy wrapping paper to wrap this up for my client. You may want a damp sponge. You can do this with a brush. You can do this with your fingers. You can do this with sprays. You can do this with spray paints, anything to get the color down onto the Deli paper. So let me clean up and get ready, and we'll start. Okay, so this, first of all, is an awesome project for kids for two reasons. One, there's no skill required. This is just all about throwing paint down, letting the paper dry, perhaps adding on some other elements, ripping up the sheets, and then Mod Podging them together. So that's awesome. And then the other reason is it can be done in more than one sitting. So if you only have an hour on a Saturday afternoon, you could just color the paper and then put it aside to dry, and then the next time you had an hour or so, you could decorate the paper if you want to, and then the next time you could rip the paper up, Mod Podge it, and let it dry. So it doesn't have to be a project that has to be done all in one sitting. You can do it in parts over several days in small chunks for younger children. Okay, so this is 6 pieces of 12 by 12 Deli paper. I'm going to just use one at a time so they don't slide on each other. This particular project, you can put down the paint any way you want. I'm going to just start it with some greens. My objective is just to get some color down. Alright, we're back with the dried papers. This is the first one I did, and I'm not super duper happy with it. However, it will look fine once it's ripped up. I do like this one. I like the texture. I like that that moss green in the background kind of looks gold. And I love my reds. The reds are fantastic. So what we're going to do now is we're going to apply some of this variegated leaf, which I've never done before. So yay, experiment. That was horrible. that this is okay because I just bought it. This is Artist Loft Flow Acrylic in gold. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of that out, and I'm going to do some sponging to add some gold to this. I'm going to give this a couple of minutes to dry, and then what we're going to do is we're going to tear this up, Mod Podge it together, and I'm going to use these on top when it's done to kind of cohesively bring it together. So I'll be right back. Okay, here we are with our papers. So what I need to create is I need one that is at least 2 and a bit wide, so from there to there for the edges, and at least a little bit longer so I can fold over. So basically this entire space here needs to be covered with paper. Now that's a lot of paper, but that's okay. I made more paper because I like to use the edges so that I don't have to cut the paper later. So I use a lot of the edges, and I also overlap quite a bit so I get a nice thickness. So it looks like I have way too much paper, but in the end, it will all work out. There we go, so that you can see everything. I have my foam brush. I have my Mod Podge, which I'm going to pour into a cup so I don't contaminate my jar. There we go. Always wipe off the edge of the Mod Podge, otherwise the lid sticks. I have learned. That's going to go in there. Now what we get to do is the fun part, ripping and pasting. Your kids will love this part. Okay, so I like to just start by placing some stuff out. Okay, so this is good. I have a nice amount, a nice mix of green and red. So what we have to do is Mod Podge it together. I find the easiest way is to start at one edge and go all the way over. I have a non-stick craft sheet here. So I'm actually going to just put some Mod Podge down here, and as I move pieces over, it'll have something to stick to while I work on it. So basically what I'm going to do is put that down. That will hold that. And then I just keep going. So you want to make sure that every single piece gets covered with a layer of Mod Podge. And then you just keep going. So this will be in super duper fast forward. And then when it's dry, we'll be back. Second coat down, completely covered with Mod Podge. Let it dry. Okay, this is 99% dry. There is a few places where the Mod Podge was on a bit thick that still need to finish drying, but this is dry enough to put on our final embellishments. You can either, that's it, peel it up and use it as wrap, or if you're putting on some embellishments like sequins, you might want to put a final coat. And if you want, you can use matte Mod Podge for everything else and then do a gloss as the final, whatever you prefer. So I want to start with some of these glitter glues. I just want to make, and I'm going to work mostly in here because all of this will be wrapped underneath. So let me kind of stick here. Actually, you can't see that very well, can you? No, you cannot see that at all. But I did make some glitter glue trails, and what'll happen is this will dry clear and the only thing you'll see is the glitter. This is a Perlen-Pen from Viva Decor. I'm just going to, let's see, it's silver, so should I make like a little bell? Oh, that looks horrible. It looks like something I can't say on a family channel. The wonderful thing about the dried Mod Podge is it wipes right off. How about I just stick to, nope, that's even worse. Good God Almighty. Okay, let's just make little dots. There we go. So if you are more creative than I am, you would be able to draw on here with your glitter glues or your ephemera. You, like if I was creative, I could have made little Christmas trees, but I'm not. So this is going to completely dry, and then we will be back quick, and you can watch me in fast forward wrap the gift. When your paper is dry, you just need to lift one corner and peel it. There we go. And it just peels off, and then what you do is you just trim the edge with scissors, and you are ready to wrap. Okay, so we're back. We're going to do the quick wrap up in fast forward. This just fits perfectly over this way, and because this paper is a little bit stiffer than regular paper, I'm actually going to trim it so it just fits, because there's nowhere to fold for bulk. So there's a rip on this side, so I'm actually going to do it, whoa, this way. So I'm measured up here, that's plenty. So I'm actually going to end up cutting off a goodly amount on this side, and we'll wrap it up, and then we'll wrap up this video. And there we go, our homemade wrapping paper. These little Perlen-Pen balls, that was cool, and I love the way the glitter glue dried. It's fabulous. I'm sure you noticed that I had to use quite a bit of tape because this is coated with Mod Podge. You have to make sure that you get all of the paper attached because it doesn't fold into a crisp edge like it does with paper. So you need a little bit of extra tape, but that's great. Now, my biggest hope is that after this gift is carefully opened up, someone will keep the paper and maybe collage it or do something creative with it. Thank you so much for joining me on my artful journey. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe right here. And just so you know, beside the subscribe button, there is a little bell. And if you click on that, as soon as I load a new video, you will get a reminder. YouTube has been having some subscriber issues. So if you were subscribed to me, can you go double check? Because some people were unsubscribed in an algorithm update they did a couple of weeks ago, and I myself am finding that people that I watch on a regular basis I have been unsubscribed to. Anyways, thanks again. It's always better when you're here. Bye!